The starter got pulled in 35 seconds, not 35 minutes, 35 seconds. That's how long it took Senegal's blitz defense to expose Team USA's opening lineup, the one Caitlin Clark wasn't in. FIBA and their broadcast partner had plastered Clark's face across every piece of tournament marketing they produced, and Kara Lawson still had her sitting on the bench at tip-off. Then, Clark checked in, played 19 minutes, and broke 5 FIBA world records that spanned decades of international competition, men's and women's, every country, all of it. This isn't just a highlight story. This is a coaching decision that's already answering itself. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which direction that starting lineup is heading and what it means for every Indiana Fever fan watching the 2026 season from a distance right now. If you've been tracking Clark's return since the injury took her out, hit that like button, because this performance is the reason this channel exists. We're not here to recap box scores. We're here to connect the dots. Let's set the scene properly. Clark's 2025 WNBA season got derailed by injury before it ever developed any real momentum. What followed was months of rehab, training facilities, zero competitive basketball. Meanwhile, FIBA and broadcast partner TNA were building the entire qualifying tournament's marketing identity around her face. Promotional materials, tournament branding, the full package, all of it centered on a player who hadn't touched a competitive floor in 239 days. That's a specific kind of pressure to absorb, and Clark addressed it directly before the game. She said she expected to feel anxious, but instead just felt excited. She also said the first game is always the hardest, but once you find a flow, things figure themselves out. That's not someone suppressing pressure. That's someone who already worked through it. There's another detail in how Clark framed her own role going in that tells you everything about where her head was. She said specifically, "This is not a stage where you come out and be the star player. That's not how it works for USA basketball. You don't say that if your mindset is just about putting up numbers. That's someone who did her homework, came in with a plan, and was ready to execute it." The starting lineup decision fell to Chelsea Gray at point guard. On paper, the logic holds. Gray is a championship-tested veteran who understands how to run an offense under pressure. Kara Lawson made a defensible call. But Senegal came out with an aggressive full-court blitz, and Gray was pulled off the point guard position within 35 seconds. Darica Hamby and Angel Reese were stepping in just to handle the ball and deal with the pressure. The starting unit was surviving the press. That's it. They were staying afloat. Then Clark checked in. Her first 3 possessions produced 3 assists. Not 3 in the first quarter, 3 assists on her first 3 touches. The pace of the entire game shifted right there, and everyone on that floor felt it simultaneously. The difference in how she handled Senegal's blitz compared to the starting unit was total. Senegal's pressure scheme is specifically built to create backcourt chaos, trap early, force bad decisions, generate turnovers. Clark was turning those same blitzes into fast breaks. She was reading the defense before it could even set, finding teammates in rhythm before the trap could close. The starting unit was surviving. Clark was weaponizing the exact same pressure they couldn't handle, and while all of that was unfolding, the assists, the pace shifts, the blowout building, statisticians were quietly running numbers in the background. Drop your call in the comments right now. Does Lawson start Clark in the next game? Because that question is what everything in this video is pointing toward, and we want to know what you're seeing. Here's what those statisticians found. Clark played 19 minutes off the bench. She handed out 12 assists against a defense built specifically to generate turnovers, and she didn't turn the ball over once in the entire first half. Not once. So before we even get to the records, 12 assists, 19 minutes, 0 first-half turnovers, coming off the bench, in her first competitive game in 239 days. Sit with that for a second. Then let's go through what the records actually are. Record 1, most assists in a Team USA senior national team debut, men or women, any era. Clark's 12 assists is the highest assist total ever recorded by any player making their debut for the United States senior national team. not just in recent years, all of it. Record 2 goes even further than American basketball. Most assists in any senior national team debut across all countries, men or women, every country, or every debutee ever recorded in FIBA competition, Clark has that record too. Record 3, second most assists in FIBA qualifying tournament history. Not debut records anymore. Every qualifying game ever played by any player at any point. One game, 19 minutes, second all-time in FIBA history. Record 4, most assists by any player coming off the bench in FIBA history, men or women. She didn't even start. She came off the bench and still owns the all-time FIBA record for assists as a reserve player. Record 5, most assists in any single half of a FIBA qualifying game ever played. 8 assists before halftime, 0 turnovers. That first half alone is a record that stands by itself. If this is the kind of breakdown that keeps bringing you back, consider joining the channel as a member. Your support is what lets us go this deep. Into the records, the coaching decisions, and the angles most coverage just glosses over. Now here's the specific piece that makes the 0 turnover stat so significant. The highest assist totals almost always carry risk. You're pushing pace, making aggressive reads, forcing the game to move. That creates mistakes. Clark was doing all of that and still not giving the ball away, against a defense architecturally designed to generate turnovers. 8 months removed from competitive basketball. That's not just efficiency. That's a different category of control. The Clark-Ryan-Howard connection in particular became unsolvable for Senegal. Howard finished with a team-high 21 points, and the broadcast noted that essentially all of his threes came off Clark's reads. Every time Senegal chose to blitz, Howard was standing open at the arc. So Senegal faced a binary: keep blitzing and surrender open threes, or back off and let Clark operate freely at the point of attack. There was no third option. Clark finished with 17 points herself, going 4 of 5 from 3 and 5-4-5 from the free throw line. All of that on top of the record-setting facilitation in 19 minutes off the bench. She wasn't the only one making history in that game. 6 players made their senior national team debuts simultaneously. Paige Bueckers was fluid and versatile, making the moment look completely routine. Angel Reese was nearly flawless. 1 missed shot, 8 rebounds, doing the physical work that makes the perimeter game breathable. And instead of 6 simultaneous debuts creating disjointed play, the whole team looked like a coordinated high-tempo system producing good shots on every possession. Kara Lawson got to the post-game podium and used a specific phrase: the lineup and rotations are in finding mode. Coaches don't say that when they're satisfied. Lawson also pointed directly to the second quarter lineup: Clark, Kelsey Plum, Eri Austin, and Monique Billings as the group that took us to a different level. That unit did not include Chelsea Gray. That's not ambiguous language. The performance is already pointing the decision in one direction, and Lawson is already acknowledging it publicly. The fair question is whether a 64-point win over Senegal actually tells us anything about how this team handles serious international competition. It's a legitimate challenge. But what this game reveals isn't really about the opponent. It's about what this offense looks like when Clark is running it without constraints. The pace, the reads, the way teammates are getting shots they can actually make. That's system-level production, and the ceiling is genuinely different from what the starting unit was generating in those first 35 seconds. For Indiana Fever fans, here's the part that matters most beyond this tournament. The 2026 season is the next time that version of Clark is consistently on the floor. The Fever's own Instagram was already celebrating the double-double in real time. Lawson has signaled the lineup direction. The only question is how fast this group can build on what they started in one night against Senegal. 239 days, 5 FIBA world records, a 64-point blowout, and a head coach who just confirmed publicly that the starting lineup isn't settled. Clark didn't just return. She returned as the most dangerous facilitator in international women's basketball right now, and the next qualifying game is going to tell us whether Kara Lawson is ready to put that on the opening possession. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because when that next game drops, we're going to be right back here breaking down whether Lawson makes the call, what the lineup looks like, and what it's setting up for 2026. Don't miss it.